Welcome to GOA365 English News Bulletin. I am Brian Sequeira and these are the headlines. Tar balls on Goa beaches is a regular feature. Goa is a tourism hotspot and the reason for these tar balls are known. However, the state government has pushed the ball in the centre's court. India is likely to witness over a 7-fold rise in lung cancer cases by 2025, say experts. Civic society comes out in protest over MLA jumping parties, calls on voters to punish defectors. And now for the news in detail. Tar balls washing ashore on Goa beaches is a yearly occurrence. However, there is no action taken on those responsible. The state government says they have appraised the centre on the issue. However, the centre is still yet to find a cause and finalize an action plan to get rid of tar balls.
A written reply to the Assembly on tar balls by the Tourism Department said, the Goa State Pollution Control Board has instructed the Department of Environment based on the study of NIO Dona Paola to trace the tar balls to Bombay High. However, there was no reply whether this was implemented or not. The central government has been informed about the tar balls issue. NGT has constituted a technical subcommittee, reply said. However, it was neither the state or central government asking NGT to form a technical committee. It was the Brackish Water Research Centre who filed a petition against Gujarat Pollution Control Board and Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. However, the Tourism Department gave the details of NGT proceedings on state government informing centre on tar balls. Accordingly, a committee was formed with representatives from the Ministry of Ports, Indian Coast Guard, Department of Environment and Forests from Goa, Gujarat and Maharashtra. The committee said, citing NIO study, that incidents like offshore oil exploration, oil tanker accidents, oil well blowouts, pipeline leakages, tanker washes, leakage spills along the tanker route lead to formation of tar balls. As the west coast is the busiest shipping route and it is impossible to find out the exact source, the committee said. These were the task of technical subcommittee. Identification of the source of tar balls. This includes offshore oil fields, ship leakages, discharges and oil spill events. Suggest preventive measures required at the source to minimize oil leakages. Suggest mechanism to arrest tar balls at sea. Prepare standard operating procedures for typical tar ball sources. Samip Narvekar for GOA365.
We have seen a new trend in Goan politics in the form of post-election dramas. Politicians switch to the ruling side, claiming that they change parties for the development of their constituencies. People should not fall for such politicians and teach them a lesson. Save Democracy, Save Goa has urged Goans.
In Goa recently, we are seeing more party switching activities. Many MLAs were also seen jumping from one party to another. This is a citizen initiative aimed at sending a strong message to all legislatures. People should come together regardless of any party and send a message that we will not tolerate MLAs switching the parties for their own interests. For the same reason, Save Goa, Save Democracy protested in Old Goa. Watch.
आंदोलन करीत सेव गोवा सेव डेमोक्रेसीन खर निषेध केलो. आयकात.
थोड्या पयशांक लागून तुम्ही आपल्याच्या फायद्याक लागून तुम्ही खंयच्याच लोकांच्या फायद्याक लागून कांयच करिना. ते आमकांय खबर आनी आख्या गोंयकारांकूय खबर आहा. ते लोकांक तुम्ही फायदो त्या पार्टीन केलो म्हणजे असो तुमचो फायदो ते तुम्ही सांगून बसनाका आमकां. ते आमी सगळ्यांक खबर आसा. तुम्ही जे पळय फाटल्या ह्या म्हाका दिसता वर्सभराक वर्स देड वर्सांक तुमी चलयलां पळय हें 10 आमदार तुम्ही फोडटा तो कितें तरी क्लॉज तुम्ही 75% कितें तरी वापरता आनी तुम्ही हेवटेनचे तेवटेन वयता. कळ्ळें तुका न्हू. ही फुटींग म्हणा बंद करा.
इलेक्शन चल रहा था उस समय आपने लोगों का अंधविश्वास जीता और जीतकर आप लोग जीत कर आ गए, परंतु आपकी जो गुटबाजी है वो पहले से तय थी कि हम लोग बीच में ये काम करेंगे करके.
हे प्रोटेस्ट आमकां घडोवन हाडपा पडले कित्याक लागून जेन्ना आमकां सगळ्या गोंयकारांक खबर आहा डिफेक्शनाचो एक अटेम्प्ट जालो आनीक हें आमी सांगूना. हें सामकें उगड्यार आयिल्लें, इवन पेपरार आयिल्लें. आनी त्या खातीर आमी अवेरनस करपाक गेला खरें कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीन वचून तांकां एक शिटकावणी दिवपाक की जे कोण डिफेक्शन करपाक सोदतात इंटेंशन जे कोणाचें आसा तांणी सावध रावचें कित्याक आमी हे फावट वगैरे रावपाना. लास्ट टायम जेन्ना डिफेक्शन जालें तेन्ना कांयच जावना सगळें हें जालें पूण इन्स्पायट ऑफ दॅट ओगी रावनूय बी कितल्या लोकांक घर बसयल्या पूण हें घर बसयत तें 5 वर्सां उपरांत जातलें. पूण आतां जेन्ना कोण डिफेक्शन करपाक सोदता त्या टायमार लोक तांचे घरा कडेन वचून सुद्दां आमी प्रोटेस्ट करपाची आमची हें तयारी आसतली.
त्या पार्टीन वचून निवडणूक दवरपाची हांव सांगपाक सोदतां की जनता जे आमचे मतदार आसा प्रत्येक मतदारसंघाचो खंयचोय मतदारसंघ आसूं त्या मतदारसंघाचे लोक ताका घरा बसयतले ही वास्तुस्थिती आसा आनी तेंच्या बरोबर देव आसतलो लोकां बरोबर देव आसतले हें सांगपाक सोदता सगळ्यांक बरोबर.
ते म्हणटात आमी डेव्हलपमेंट करपाक आमी जॉयन जाता ऑपोजिशनान कांय जायना कामां.
आतां तुमी जर सगळेच जाण अशें म्हणपाक लागले की डेव्हलपमेंट करपाक जॉयन जाता रुलींगूच रावप न्ही ऑपोजिशनान कित्याक जावप. हेज्यान पयलीं अश्यो खुबश्यो गोश्टी आहा की रुलिंगान आसल्यारूच डेव्हलपमेंट जाता असो ना. रुलिंगान आसलेले मनीस डेव्हलप करून लोकांनी उडयल्ले आसा तोवूय आसा प्रश्न न्ही. म्हणजे डेव्हलपमेंट करतना तुवें सरकारा डेव्हलप म्हणून कोणाचो पयशांनी करता. एक व्यक्ती जावं एक कोणाच्या पार्टीच्या पयशांनी डेव्हलपमेंट जायना व लोकांच्या पयशांनी डेव्हलपमेंट जाता. सो त्या खातीर जी ताका जर इच्छा आसा कोणाकूय डेव्हलपमेंट करपाची तो खंयच्याय सरकाराच्या माध्यमांतल्यान डेव्हलपमेंट करूं शकता.
हें पळय गोंया पळय आतां आमचें राजकारण पळय चल्लां. इलेक्शनाच्या 4 म्हयने पयलीं हातूंतल्यान तातूंत उडी मारपाक लागले. आतां इलेक्शन जावन 4 म्हयने जाले तरी पूण हेंची हें चालूच आसा हेंची चळवळ. पूण हें आतां आमचें जनरेशन पळय आतां आमचे फुडें इलेक्शनाक रावतले तेंच्या खातीर हें व्हेरी डेंजरस. मंदिरांनी मस्जिदांनी बांबोळीच्या फुडसांनी हेंच्यांनी शपथ घेतली. ही शपथ सुद्दां घेवन हे आतां म्हणटा आमी BJP प्रवेश करता आनी सांगता कितें डेव्हलपमेंट. कसलो डेव्हलपमेंट ती गोंयची जनता भरपूर जाणा एक खंयची डेव्हलपमेंट करपाक वयता ते. तर हांव आमच्या गोंयच्या लोकांक सांगता जनतेक की आतां तुमी दोळे उगडात.
आमी आतां हाल्ली असेंब्ली पळयली आनी हे असेंब्लीन सारके गोंयकारांक आमकां कळोवन चुकलें की गोंयचें कांयच जावपाक ना म्हणून. कोळशाचो जेन्ना इशू घेतलो न्हू तेन्ना हे सगळे उठले आनी गेले कोणूच उलोवंक सोदिना. अरे आमकां जाय रे बापया तुमी ऑपोजिशनान गरज आहा तुमची ह्या गोंयांत. तुमकां निवडून हाडले मरे ऑपोजिशनान बसले म्हणून कितें जालें म्हाका सांग. तुमकां पगार मेळटलो आतां तुमी कितें खर्च केला म्हणटा ते तुमचे प्रॉब्लम. हे तुमचे प्रॉब्लम. आमी तुमकां खर्च कर म्हणून सांगून आसलेले आनी हांगासर इंडियेन जर इलेक्शन लडटलो न्हू 1 रुपया खर्च करपाची गरज ना. हांव म्हाजो वोट केन्नाच विकिना आनी हेच्या पयलीं केन्ना विकूं ना हेच्या फुडें केन्ना विकचो ना. पूण हांवें प्रामाणीक मनशाक वोट मारला. हांवें तुका वोट मारला तुका निवडून हाडला तूं ऑपोजिशनान पडलो ती म्हाजी चूक न्हू. कितें हो एक सामान्य गोंयकार उलयता. आयज गरज आहा रे तुमची आमकां. आयज सिद्धी नायकाक न्याय मेळना. आयज कोळसो आमी खाता आमी ब्रीथ करता. म्हाका कॅन्सर जाला काय ना तो म्हाका खबर ना. हांव कोळशाच्या त्या दोंगराचेर रावता रे. आयज गरज आहा तुमची. आयज वयता थंयसर करप्शन वयता क्रायम रेट खंय पावला आनी ह्या नरा धमांगडा तुमी वयतले थंयसर बारीकशे नाटकुले करपाक थंयसर. सोपयलें मरे हेंच्यांनी आमकां. आयज GST अरे दुधाचेर GST कडधान्याचेर GST सगळ्याचेर GST घातली. हेंकां सपोर्ट करपाक वयतले हेंकां सपोर्ट करतले तुमी. कितें रे आमी तुमकां निवडून हो दीस पळोवपाक हाडलेले. मजा मार तुमची हॉटेलांनी रावतात आमच्या पयशांची मजा मारतात. हेवटेंतल्या तेवटेन कोण तुमकां विचारिना. हेच्या पयलीं जे गेल्ले 12 जाण न्हू ते तेंकांय आमी केन्ना विचारूंक ना. पूण आयज विचारचें पडटा कित्याक जाणा मरे म्हाज्या आवयचें वस्त्रहरण जालां वस्त्रहरण. गोंय काबार करून सोडला हेंच्यांनी. अरे डोंगर सोडूंक ना शेतां सोडूंक ना मरे न्हंय सोडूंक ना. अरे न्हंय प्रायवेटायज जाले. ह्या कोल कंपनीन ह्या अदानीन आनी GSWन नागडे केले आमकां सारके सोपयले काबार केले.
Vincent Rosario for GOA365.
We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Union Minister Smriti Irani on Sunday sent a legal notice to the Congress party and its leaders for alleging that her 18-year-old daughter was running a restaurant and demanding an apology. Meanwhile, Congress workers held a protest outside the restaurant.
शर्म करो स्मृति ईरानी शर्म करो.
The Congress had alleged that the bar license of the restaurant was obtained by using forged documents. The allegations were dismissed by Irani and claimed she and her daughter are being targeted for political reasons. She had also claimed that her daughter had nothing to do with the restaurant. Irani has sent a legal notice to congressmen. Earlier, Congress workers held a protest in front of the restaurant. They also tried to shut the restaurant, but the attempt was foiled by the police.
जेन्ना ते बेकायदेशीर आसा आमी फक्त लॉक मारतात चावी पुलिसांकडे दिता जाल्यार पुलीस आयकना.
सो हे चुकीचे आसा. आमी मागणी करता गोंयच्या परत एकदा गोंयच्या सीएमा कडेन की हितून लक्ष घाल. पोलीस ज्या जाग्यार जाय त्या जाग्यार डिप्लॉय कर. ज्या जाग्यार पुलिसांची गरज ना थंयसर धाडपाची गरज ना. आमी हांगा तोडफोड करपाक येवंक ना. आमी तोडफोड पार्टीचे कार्यकर्ते नासून आमी भारत जोडो ह्या काँग्रेस पार्टीचे कार्यकर्ते आसा. आमी तोडफोड करपाक हांगा येवंक ना. हांगा आमी न्याय मागपाक येयल्या. हांगा आमी उतर मागपाक येयल्या. हांगा आमी आन्सर मागपाक येयल्या. केंद्रीय मंत्री स्मृती इराणी यांच्या कडल्यान उतर मागपाक येयल्या. हे जे तुम्ही लिपोवन करता, जी फटिंगपणां करता, एका बोर्डाचेर तुम्ही जर त्या फाटल्या वाटेन गेले जाल्यार बोर्ड एकदम ओपन आसा की थंयसर सारकें बरयलां. थंयसर रेस्टॉरंट बार सगळें आसा. पूण ह्या बोर्डार एंट्रन्साक मात तेंच्यांनी काळी टेप मारल्या. ह्या भारतीय जनता पार्टीचे जी कृत्य आसा, तेंची जे विचार आसा ते काळे आसा आणि ते परतून एकदा हांगा
जेन्ना नॉर्थ गोंयचे SP जेन्ना येता आणि म्हापसा ज्या ठिकाणी इंटरेक्शन मिटींग वगैरे घेता आणि सांगता की आपण जनते वांगडा आसा आणि हे आमचे नंबर तुम्ही जाय तेन्ना तुमी आमकां कॉल करा. अशा टायमार ते कित्याक
बरोबर आमकां थोडे आमी कितें आहा जे SP आसा, थोडे पुलीस डिपार्टमेंटान जे ऑफिसर आसा ते अपरायट ऑफिसर आसा. ते सत्य कितें आसा तेच करता. ते बरें काम करता. तेका आमी खंयच हे करिना. पण जेन्ना पुलीस डिपार्टमेंट एकंदर पुलीस डिपार्टमेंट जेचो कंट्रोल होम मिनिस्टरा कडेन आसता, गोंयचो मुखेलमंत्री होम मिनिस्टर जावन आसा, तेणी डायरेक्शन दिवपाची गरज आसा. पुलीस जायत्या वेळार आपणाच्या अधिकारान, आपणाच्या मनीसपणान, आपणाच्या विजडमान ते जायते निर्णय घेता आणि जे नागरीक आसा तांकां आपोवन हाडून हिंदूंक आपयता, मुसलमानांक आपयता. बरे भशेन जावचे हे प्रयत्न करपी ऑफिसर आमी म्हापशान पळयल्या. पण एक बेकायदेशीर आस्थापना जेन्ना आसता थंयसर तेका प्रोटेक्शन मेळपाक जायना. ते उद्ध्वस्त जावपाक जाय, ते काबार जावपाक जाय. कित्याक बेकायदेशीर कृत्यां, बेकायदेशीर धंदे ह्या गोंयान आमच्या आनी देशान चलपाक जायना. जेन्ना भारतीय जनता पार्टी संस्काराची भाशा करता, सभ्यतेची भाशा करता, संस्कृतीची भाशा करता, सत्याची भाशा करता आणि असली असत्य अधर्माची गैरकृत्याची जेन्ना ते पाठबळ तांकां दिता.
आज आमी हांगा
काल महिलांनी हांगा प्रोटेस्ट केला. आज तुम्ही यूथ करता, सो फुडलो स्टँड का?
फुडलो स्टँड 29 तारखेक शोकॉज नोटीस ताका दिल्ली आसा. 29 तारखेक ताका रिप्लाय करचें पडटलें. कायद्यान जरी ऑफिसराक ट्रान्सफर केलो आमी हेच्या विरोधान आसा आणि हेका आमी लढा दितले जर ऑफिसराक हात घातलो जाल्यार.
मजेशीर आसा कितें आतां रिप्लाय कोण दितलो पळय.
मेल्ल्या मनशाक शोकॉज नोटीस गेल्ली आसा. मेल्ल्या मनशाक
रिप्लाय कोण करतलो.
मेल्ल्या मनशाक शोकॉज नोटीस गेल्ली
ज्याच्या
आसा.
नांवार लायसन मेळ्ळा तो मेला, तो पावलो वयर. पण कोण चलयता ही फटिंगपणां 29 तारखेक कळटली की रिप्लाय दिवपाक कोण येतलो काय हे सरकाराच्या ताब्यान वयतले काय कितें काय कळना.
सरकार इल्लीगल सगळ्या ताब्यान घेवपाक सोदता आपल्या. सो हेंय घेवचें अशी आमची मागणी आसा.
मारूंक जाय आसले.
बरोबर ज्या तरेन आता तुम्ही लॉक मारपाक गेले आणि पुलीस प्रोटेक्शन हाडून तुमकां लॉक मारूंक दिवना. सांबरेन जशें तुम्ही म्हटलं की जर पुलीस लॉक मारिना जाल्यार तुम्ही कितें कायदो घेतले?
खरें म्हणल्यार हे जशें पुलिसांनी आमी पळयलां फाटल्या तेंपार एक ड्रायव्ह चालू केल्लो. सगळे इल्लीगल जे स्पा हे ते सगळे लॉक मारीत सुटलेले. बरी गजाल. सो हांव म्हणटा हेंय ते पुलिसांचे नजरे हाडून दिले की हेंय बेकायदेशीर, हेकाय तुम्ही लॉक मारा म्हणून शेवटी काढले लॉक आणि हे चेन काढली आणि ताच्या हातीन दिली तुम्ही हेका लॉक मारा. कित्याक पुलिसांनी हांगा खरें म्हणल्यार प्रोटेक्शन हेका दिवप न्ही. पुलिसांनी लोक जे त्रासान आसा तांकां प्रोटेक्शन दिवचें. हे बेकायदेशीर हांगा ज्यो गोष्टी आहा ताका हांगा प्रोटेक्शनाक येवन उबे रावचें न्ही, प्रोटेक्शन दिवपाक.
ब्युरो रिपोर्ट GOA365.
The Vasantrao Dempo Diamond Jubilee Lecture Series saw MP and former Union Minister Jayant Sinha speak of the economic growth in relation to global warming as the series concluded. Professors and other leading scientists were part of the series. Here's more on this.
The lecture series, which concluded on Friday, saw Sinha speak on the adverse effects of global warming on the world, with economic growth along with the possible strategies being undertaken by India and other nations in a bid to tackle the rising number of heat waves and weather abnormalities. Industrialist and chairman Dempo Group Srinivas Dempo too spoke during the closing ceremony, highlighting the importance of education. Watch.
Climate change, and that's related to carbon emissions, which I will describe in detail. And number two, insufficient job creation. Because as we move towards factories, these factories are becoming more automated, more machine and capital intensive. and they're just simply not creating enough jobs to employ the young people that India has today. So the sustainableness of this trajectory is actually not adding up, and we are moving in a way, in a development pathway that doesn't work very well for India. Next page. So let's look first at climate change and the sustainability issues associated with climate change. So typically, in the past we've had carbon parts per million in the atmosphere that have been well below 300 parts per million. But what has happened in the last few years that we have, because we are pumping all this carbon into the atmosphere from coal-fired power plants, from tailpipe emissions of electric and diesel vehicles, from diesel generators, from all these different sources of carbon, as well as, by the way, from livestock, which produce methane, which is a very, very powerful greenhouse gas, which creates even more problems.
It is because of you. The MP College of Arts and Science was established in 1962. You remember those times. Many of you were born then, I was not. But this was in response to the urgent educational requirements of the newly liberated Goa. Many of our ancestors had to go away to places like Belgaum and Mumbai to pursue higher education. Thus was born Goa Education Society under the able leadership of my grandfather, late Vasantrao Dempo, backed formidably by his brother, late Vaikunt Rao, and also by our Honorable First Chief Minister of Goa, late Bhau Sahib Bandodkar, and there are many others. Again, in the interest of time, I would not name everyone. And then came this, eventually passed on to Dempo Charities Trust. And for the last 6 decades, as I said, with the blessings of the people of Goa, we have been able to serve the Goan society, particularly the less privileged members of the society who cannot afford to go far away for education. And thanks to the various governments during this last 6 decades of the government of Goa, with their solid backing and support, we have been able to not only survive in this very challenging environment, but also thrive and grow the institution. As I said, over the past 60 years, this college has been a cradle for higher education to those who aspire to make a dream and living. And I'm very humbled and at the same time proud to say that many of our alumni have distinguished themselves not only at the local level but also at the national and international level across all walks of life in various streams and sectors of the economy. Today, as we stand and take a look and try and evaluate at the landmark of 60 years and deliberate on the future strategies of the college, I think we need to be conscious of the emerging discourses on higher education. Higher education is changing, and it's changing very, very fast. Especially the focus now with the new national education policy, which is very, very futuristic, which is very strong in intent, which focuses on multidisciplinary education, as I said, where there will be no rigid separations between faculties of arts and sciences. From the time the first NEP was drafted in 48 till the present times, our policymakers have always emphasized and promoted the concept of holistic education, and the new NEP is just further strengthening this. The objective is to provide education, not just for living, but for life. To provide not just formal education, based education, but to expand the horizons, promote understanding of various local, regional, national and international issues, and in the process, develop students that are worthy and empathetic citizens who will contribute to the betterment of society.
Sandeep Kamulkar for GOA365 from Miramar.
We will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Indian Council of Medical Research has published a study which revealed that India is likely to witness over a 7-fold rise in lung cancer cases by 2025 compared to the situation a decade ago, citing the lack of a population-level screening tool to identify such patients. Here's more on this.
Nearly 45% of lung cancer patients in the country are diagnosed at a time when the cancer is spread to other parts of the body, as Indians are generally diagnosed in their mid-50s, which is a decade earlier than the Western population. Prashant Mathur, lead author of the study and director of ICMR's National Center for Disease Informatics, along with his colleagues, collected cancer data from 28 population-based and 58 hospital-based cancer registries. They found records of 22,645 lung cancer patients between 2012 and 2016. This number, according to the study, will go up to over 1.61 lakhs in 2025, with an estimated 81,000 plus cases among the males and 30,000 among females, a 7-fold jump. Bureau Report, GOA365.
Now for some sports news. Cricket Australia has announced a new association with Disney Star to broadcast Australian cricket throughout India and other territories across Asia. Sony Pictures Network India is the current rights holder of Australian cricket, and the deal with Star starts early next year.
The 7-year deal commences next year and will see Star televise men's international and women's international matches played in Australia, as well as the Big Bash League and World Big Bash League. Star recently won the TV broadcast rights for the IPL, and Cricket Australia hope that this alignment with the Indian broadcaster will ensure multiple benefits, including widespread cross-promotion of the BBL. Bureau Report, GOA365.
Now for the weather. Many parts of the state witnessed moderate to heavy rainfall today, and a yellow alert was announced for today. IMD, however, has forecast moderate rain at isolated places tomorrow onwards until the 28th, with temperatures likely to hover between 30 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius respectively. Here's more on the weather.
With monsoons easing over the western coast, Goa is predicted to have drier days in the coming week, with only moderate to heavy rainfall at isolated places. While a yellow alert has been raised today, no weather warnings have been issued until the 28th. Temperatures, meanwhile, are likely to hover between 30 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius respectively tomorrow. No weather warnings till the 28th. Isolated rainfall possible till the 28th. Maximum minimum temperatures today 29 degrees Celsius and 24 degrees Celsius respectively. Bureau Report, GOA365 with inputs from IMD.
With that, we have come to the end of this news bulletin. For more news and updates, log into our website www.goa365.tv. Take care, stay safe, and keep watching GOA365.